Hi there. Hi. Today I just wanted to talk to you about what you need to bear in mind when you're making your film. Okay? What we've done is usually spend time doing films, but we have no clue what we need to do with it when we finish making the film, especially when it comes to film production and distribution. So today, I want you to pay attention because you don't know what you don't know. So if you're a new filmmaker, um, you want to learn this lesson. Of course, it doesn't apply to professional filmmakers who probably done a number of distributions. So this topic is about new filmmakers, up and coming filmmakers, um, even if you've done films before, but you've not been able to distribute the film, then essentially it's a problem for you because you won't be able to send this film to a subscription video on demand online platforms, especially Amazon, Netflix, if you don't know what you need to set up right from the beginning of the production. So in a nutshell, I want to talk about, or in fact, share my experience about what we call deliverables. By the way, if you are new, you can click on the subscribe button. If you like the topic, click on like, leave a comment. And if you've subscribed, you can put your notification on so that next time I publish any content, you will automatically get the information or an alert. So deliverables, what do I mean by deliverables? Well, it sounds as the name is, basically to deliver your project. And these are the components that you need in order for your film to be accepted when you submit it on Amazon, for example. Some of us probably use agents. And even for an agent to do the work for you, they will also need the deliverables. So the first thing, obviously, will be part of that deliverables will be your film copy. So if it's like you've done a feature film, a short film, you want the actual copy, the highest quality that an online platform would accept. So it could be MP4, MOV format, but make sure the film is high enough so that the quality is retained. Your edit department or editor would be able to help you get the correct size for your film copy. So you create a folder, put the film copy in, and in fact, create a folder called deliverables. And inside that deliverables folder, create another folder and call it film copy. So after that, you create another folder and put your stills, your photographies that you probably took during your behind the scene. So why is it important that you know all these things is that when you're making your film, you're thinking about your deliverables. And as you're thinking about your deliverables, you can be accommodating for that, and you can, get all those information as you're making the film. Not when you finish making the film, you find that you have not catered for some of your deliverables, and then you end up in limbo. So create a folder, and all the shots, the stills that you've taken, behind the scenes, footage, things like that, stills, photographies that you took, whack them inside there and not like hundreds or thousands, just selected few that would be useful and would market your film. Okay, even your editor can take screenshots of your content, and that would be part of your deliverables on the aspect of the still photographies and photos, images. Okay, so excuse me. If you also have created a poster, that would also be part of that. But then, once you've done that, create another folder for what is called caption. It could be closed caption or open captioning. I will talk about this captioning on another topic because it can be quite long. So a closed captioning is there for people with a bit of disability, where they might not be able to hear. They might be deaf or dumb or things like that. So it is the text or an audio that will describe what is happening, these words spoken, the atmospheric ambience, different things that is happening in the film. So they are looking at the film, but they're not hearing the dialogue if they are deaf. So the text that will be it's like written text that will be coming up as the film is played. The dialogues and the sound, even when there is a silence, the captioning will explain what is happening, just to aid the disabled individual so they know and follow and enjoy. And by law, we need to always cater for people with disability. And we cannot always assume everybody is as able as the rest of us. So make sure you think about either you use closed captioning or open captioning. Usually the countries like Japan would like to have an open captioning where is the text is embedded on the film, and it's not separate, it's part of the content. There are issues that you could find with that, but I don't want to again get too deep into captioning because I can actually do another talk on captioning and explain it even deeper. So when you've got your captioning, generally you have a closed captioning, which is a separate file that will play alongside the film as you're watching it. So if you don't want to be seeing the text, you can just switch it off. So it's closed, or you can switch it on and it comes on. If you're in a noisy area, you might want to switch it on to understand what is being said. Anyway, so moving on, after you've gotten your caption, by the way, there are companies that will create a captioning for you. So don't worry so much if you don't really know how to get your closed captioning, but that is part of the deliverables. And then you also need your music cue card. So the music cue card is like a document that lists the music that you have in the film and the artist, the sequencing, and all of that. Again, that is part of your edit department. If you're hiring a composer, make sure you tell the composer that you need your music cue card, because they are, in fact, that serves as your copyright license for using those composed work. So don't just be putting in music into your project without thinking about licensing and possible copyright breach. So you have a folder for that and you put in that music cue card. Okay, so another thing you need to also make sure you have is, again, your trailer. create a folder for that. But don't use a trailer that you've used maybe for your films release or premiere, which had dates of the premiere. Just have a clean trailer that just talks about the film. Most importantly, try and have a 1 minute kind of trailer that is very catchy. All right, so have your trailer, and then make sure you go through these things. So make sure you have that. Then very, very, very important element of deliverables will be your metadata. All right, metadata. All right, so your metadata would be just like the name says, data about the film. So you need to make sure you're logging down all the data relevant to your film. Obviously, a metadata will be your title of your film. Should be very easy to remember that to start off is the name of your content. So you put the name. You have obviously to find out the runtime. How many minutes is your film? Make sure you check it and make sure if it's 90 minutes, you put 90 minutes. And if it's maybe some distributors will want exact seconds. So it could be 90 minutes and 11 seconds. Make sure you put that. Usually if you click on your content, your film, your computer might be able at the bottom show you how many minutes is the runtime. But you need to know some people have different versions of their film. Some will cut a different version for premiere, and they'll have a different version for a release. So make sure the one you're putting in is the one you're going to be releasing to the video on demand platform or subscription video on demand platforms. So make sure you have the exact runtime. Type it in there. Another data would be who's the producer, who's the director, who's the actor and writer. Usually a number of platforms will only accept the first 4 key ones. So those 4 will be director, producer, writer, possibly your lead actor or lead actress. You can still add the rest of the cast, but usually they will show the first 4. And then again, make sure you have that. So you have your cast list as part of your deliverables, even though they will need to know the top bits. Make sure it's there. Okay, so you have to have, it's more like title sequence, it should be there in your deliverables. And then you need to know the aspect ratio of your film. Make sure you know the aspect ratio. Find out from your editor what is the frame per second, the frame, how many frames per second your film is running. Usually they set the camera on the beginning to shoot at 24 frames per second or 25 frames per second. Some might be 30 frames per second. So all those are key, especially when you want to align your captioning. If your captioning is aligned and your frame per second is longer, it may well be that it's not, the text are not showing as people are having the dialogue. So it will not sync. All right. So make sure you know how many frames per second your film was set. So you add that. So those are your the form part of your metadata. Excuse me. Another aspect of your metadata would be your website. Where can people if they want to check that your film is actually film that belongs to you, for say they want to dig in more for copyright issues, possibly they know where to go and check. So on your website, they will see the film website, they will see some comments and maybe pictures. So always think about something like that. If you have access to IMDb, which is highly recommended, set up an IMDb. IMDb, they would want to know the username, and if you have any voting on IMDb, what is the star rating of your film? That is part of your metadata. Also, they want to know if you win any awards. Any awards you've won, list them. If they are major ones, it doesn't matter. Just list the awards, how many winnings, how many nominations. So those are part of your metadata. It's really the identity of your film that you're generating. So all these are very, very important. And then have another folder for your clearance. Now, clearance is very, very important because this is where your copyright issue can become very problematic, because your clearance would be music clearance, which again, if you're using people's film music, you need to be sure that they have given you the license to use their film, to use their music in your film. So make sure you have that clearance. If you've used certain images, make sure you get the clearance for using those images. So make sure you get all your clearance. Release forms, whack them all into that folder. Those are your clearance to really demonstrate that you have the full capacity to submit that film. And why these things are very important is to avoid litigation once the film is public, especially if the film is doing very well, and then suddenly there's a lawsuit. Then it becomes a problem if you cannot really show that you've got all your clearance intact. Okay? So these are very, very important things you have to have within your deliverables. And then once you package that, you should be good to go. All right, you should be really good to go. It's better to plan ahead, and before you even start shooting, create a folder for your deliverable, so that as you're getting and gathering those information, you're putting it in there. You know you're getting ready for distribution. Not when you finish making your film, then you start scratching your head because you've not gotten your deliverables intact. It will cost you a whole lot of aggro and stress if you don't have it, and nobody's gonna take the film because you don't have all the elements required in your deliverables. Okay, I hope this topic has been very useful. If you enjoy the topic, or if you've learned anything, you can click on like. If you can subscribe to my channel, I will appreciate that. And if you can also share this content with other filmmakers or people aspiring to become filmmakers, so that they learn these things. It will save them money and it will save them time. Okay, so it's awesome to have this opportunity to talk to you about deliverables. I will be back again with other topics. Have a wonderful day.